I can't speak for other countries, but I know in the United States, it's not so much of a secret that grade inflation is rampant.
Mm.
We're at a position now where 40% of students have an A average, the best average in the school. A lot of schools are getting rid of class rank simply because they want to obscure just how many students are getting inflated grades. So,
Mhm.
not to, and I'm definitely not knocking the kind of tests that teachers administer in school, but it's important to understand that as a school teacher, you administer certain tests for purposes that are different than what standardized tests are administered for. You, as a teacher, would administer tests supportively to make sure that students learned the core material you were teaching in the way you were teaching it. If everyone in your class got a perfect score on your test, you'd be thrilled. You'd be like, I'm a great teacher. But a standardized test can't work that way because standardized tests, by their nature, have certain standards uh, below which people will fall. It would be a pretty sloppy test of driving ability. I can't speak for where you are, but in the United States, if you want to get a driver's license, you have to take a written test. You have to take a road test. And the road test is not designed for every single person to pass. We have a standard for what it means to represent that you can operate your vehicle safely on the road. And that is a standard to strive for. And that means we can be fairly comfortable that people that pass that test are pretty good. Doesn't guarantee that they're never going to get into an accident, but means that they are less likely to. Standardized tests very often serve the same purpose, whether we're talking about admissions tests or credentials, certification tests. It means that person achieved a certain standard that not everybody does. And then some of the exams are designed to really sort students. So, they're scored across a standard distribution where the bulk of test takers will fall within the big part of the bell curve. And those individuals that escape and break into the 80th and the 90th and the 99th percentile really stand out because of that fact. It's a finer sort of applicants when most of them may have very similar criteria otherwise.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
One of the things I was sort of curious on that, Mike, was certainly when we've been talking with a lot of educators, a lot of people kind of push back against the idea of standardized testing in general. And so my curiosity is, when I'm asking about the sort of trends of test prep, for me, when I'm talking to educators, at least, or at least maybe even because they're private educators, that might be kind of skewed with LearnQ, but they are, they're kind of telling me, they want more personalized learning. They're all about that kind of sector, which would seem literally against the other trend of more standardized testing. So
that's a really funny idea, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you wanted to be a language teacher, okay? And you were proposing to teach someone a language in whatever way you wanted, but you never wanted to have an objective assessment of their fluency. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Like, if you want a way of teaching a certain subject, you want to teach math, but you never want it tested outside the scope of whatever quizzes you would offer. Standardized tests are not inimical to personalized education. And if I'm a classroom teacher, I've got much more on my plate than just creating perfectly balanced, fair, valid, and reliable assessments. I can't do that. That's not even my job. So why wouldn't I use assessments that psychometricians and testing experts create as part of my benchmark? So I'm glad you said it, Alex, because I reject the assertion that they don't work together.
Yeah.
Again, if I was a driving instructor, I would be teaching to the test, right? If you set the standard for success, then I'm teaching to that. And so good tests distill the standards that we as a society agree are important, or organizations agree are relevant to success at their level.
If you'd like to learn more about marketing techniques that can help you to get more students, then head over to getmorestudents.org, where you can sign up for free and access plenty of advice and resources, including the full discussion between Alex, Herbert, and Mike.